She kicked me out for wanting a paternity test on our newborn. 6 weeks later, I hit her with DNA proof and her affair with my brother. My wife threw me out for demanding a paternity test on our newborn, calling me toxic and controlling. 6 weeks later, I came back with 2 envelopes, DNA results showing I'm not the father. Her face went white and she broke down immediately. That said everything. My gut had been screaming something was off for the entire 9 months. When I finally asked for the test after our baby was born, her reaction confirmed my suspicions. "Are you serious right now?" she snapped, holding our 3-day-old daughter, her face twisted in what seemed like real hurt. "You think I cheated on you?" I stayed calm. "I just want to be sure it's a simple test." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Simple? You're calling me a liar. You're saying this baby might not be yours." Her sister Amanda jumped in right away. "This is disgusting. What kind of man demands a paternity test from his wife?" I looked at them both. The kind who's heard whispers at work about his wife spending time with other men while he's pulling double shifts. The color drained from her face for a split second before the anger surged back. "Those are lies, gossip from jealous people." "Then prove it," I said. "Take the test." That's when she exploded, screaming about trust and how toxic I was. Get out right now. This is my house too." "Not anymore. Leave, or I'm calling the police and saying you're threatening me and the baby." I grabbed my keys. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is. Don't come back until you're ready to apologize." As I walked to the door, I turned back. "You know what's funny? An innocent person would have just agreed to the test." The way she clutched the baby tighter and looked away told me I was right. 3 days later, I got a court order for the test. The judge was sympathetic when I explained, "You have every right to know if you're the biological father." When I served her the papers, her face showed pure terror, not hurt or anger this time. The results came back on a Tuesday morning. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. "The alleged father is excluded. Probability of paternity, 0%. But I needed more. I'd hired a private investigator named Davis the week before. He called that afternoon. "Your instincts were spot on. I've got timestamps, locations, and witnesses. Your wife's been visiting your brother Michael's apartment twice a week for 8 months, Tuesday and Thursday afternoons like clockwork." My brother Michael. Neighbors confirmed a pregnant woman visiting since last summer, right when she got pregnant. Phone records show hundreds of messages between them, and he's been sending her money for baby stuff, diapers, clothes, medical bills, like a father would. The confrontation happened Friday evening. I walked in with the envelopes, DNA results, and the investigation report. She was on the couch with the baby. "Before we look at the results," I said, "when were you planning to tell me the truth?" "The results are wrong. Tests can be wrong." 0% seems definitive. I set the envelope down. "Maybe because you've been having an affair with my brother." She went silent, just staring. I pulled out the photos, her entering Michael's building, them on his balcony, embracing while she was pregnant. "How long?" The front door opened. Michael walked in and froze at the photos on the table. "Since last March," he admitted, 11 months. "So when she got pregnant, you both let me be the sucker." "We didn't know what to do," she said through tears. "It got complicated." "You know what's not complicated? Telling the truth." I gathered the evidence. "I'm filing for divorce. I'll have my name removed from the birth certificate. Michael's going on it." "This will destroy the family," she said. "No, you destroyed it when you let me think I was the father." The divorce finalized in months. Michael accepted paternity and financial responsibility, buying out my house share at market value. I moved across town, got a better job, and rebuilt my life. 6 months later, a check for $8,400 arrived, reimbursement for the medical bills and supplies I'd covered those 6 weeks. Best money I never spent. And now on to the next story. My father-in-law held our newborn underwater in the tub, claiming weak bobbies don't survive. I caught him and exposed his twisted abuse plan. My wife's father held our newborn underwater in the bathtub, saying some bobbies aren't meant to survive. I watched through the doorway as Harold gripped our 3-day-old daughter Lily by her ankles, her head fully submerged. Her tiny arms flailed weakly below the surface. "What are you doing?" I screamed, lunging forward. Harold's eyes snapped to me cold as ice. He slowly lifted Lily out. She wasn't crying or moving. Water streamed from her nose and mouth. Testing her strength, he said calmly, weak bobbies become weak adults. He started lowering her back in. I tackled him sideways, crashing us into the wall. Lily flew from his grip and I caught her against my chest. Her lips were blue, body limp. I pressed my mouth over her face, breathing air into her lungs. Her chest rose, she coughed and let out a weak cry. "You're overreacting, Alex," Harold said, blood trickling from his nose. I was testing her survival instincts. My wife Sophia appeared in the doorway. "Dad, what happened?" Harold's face softened. "Alex misunderstood. I was teaching Lily to hold her breath." "He held her under for 30 seconds, I said. She stopped breathing." That night, Sophia and I argued until 3 a.m. She insisted her father would never hurt Lily. I made her promise he'd never be alone with our daughter. But Harold kept visiting, always offering to help with baths, watching Lily with a calculating stare. One afternoon, he cornered me. "Sophia's been my daughter for 28 years, you've been her husband for 3. If you make her choose, you'll lose. That child carries my blood, I have every right to shape her." I installed security cameras the next week. Harold visited while I was at work. When I got home, I spotted a small red mark on Lily's wrist. Days later, Lily was unusually lethargic. Blood work showed traces of sedative. Child Protective Services investigated, but Harold's pricey lawyer sowed enough doubt, the case closed as unsubstantiated. 3 days after Sophia served me divorce papers, Harold had one, I got weekends only. My brother Ethan, a detective, dug into Harold's past. His first wife drowned suspiciously. His second divorced him over abuse claims. His nephew was hospitalized twice as an infant for unexplained injuries. 2 weeks later, Sophia needed a sitter for Lily. Harold volunteered. I'd hidden cameras in his house the night before. I watched from my car as she dropped Lily off. For an hour, it seemed normal. Then Harold carried her to a modified nursery. My blood froze as he strapped her into a crib with fabric restraints. "Time for your next lesson," he said, pulling a syringe. "Grandpa's teaching you pain tolerance." I bolted, calling 911 while speeding. The 20-minute drive took 8. I kicked in his door. Lily was screaming upstairs. I tackled Harold, the syringe shattered. I punched his face, crunching his nose, then freed Lily. She was feverish, convulsing from the injection. Police burst in. "I have video," I said, pointing to the cameras. Harold's house had modified cribs, injection gear, and journals detailing his plan to build Lily's resilience through abuse. Doctors said he'd injected a paralytic, enough for excruciating pain without movement. "I didn't know," Sophia sobbed at the hospital. Harold was arrested for child abuse, unlawful imprisonment, and assault. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Sophia testified against him. Jury deliberated under 2 hours. Guilty, 15 years. 6 months later, Sophia found a letter Harold wrote pre-birth, outlining his plan to eliminate me and condition Lily to pain and fear. We moved to Denver for a fresh start. 2 years on, Harold died in prison. Another inmate, a dad, learned why he was there. Now Lily's 5, starting kindergarten, chasing butterflies in our yard, laughing at jokes, oblivious to the monster who tried to break her before she could speak. And now on to the next story. Her friends' group chat, ignore him for 30 days to make him submissive. By week 2, I emptied the apartment and left divorce papers. My wife's friends' group chat said to ignore me completely for 30 days so I'd realize my place and become more submissive. By week 2, she came home to an empty apartment, divorce papers on the counter, and my note, "I realized my place, somewhere you're not." Her frantic calls started at 11:13 p.m. I was making coffee that Tuesday morning when her phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit up with a group chat notification, "Girls' Weekend Planning." But the preview wasn't about a trip, it was from Megan, 30 days, he'll finally realize his place. I'm not proud, but I picked up her phone, no passcode, she'd always trusted me. What I found changed everything. Megan had written a manipulation guide. "Listen girls, I've been married 15 years, ignore him completely for 30 days. No responses unless necessary. No affection, no conversation, no acknowledgement. Men are like dogs, they need training. After 30 days, he'll realize his place and become submissive. My wife replied with heart emojis, "You're brilliant, starting tonight." Olivia chimed in, "Totally agree, men think they can coast through marriage." Sophia added, "My husband argued about money last week, 2 days of silence, and he was apologizing for everything." I read message after message of these women treating marriages like psychological warfare, and my wife was about to experiment on me. The shorter responses, the way she looked through me, the sudden disinterest, I'd thought it was work stress. Nope, it was a playbook. I heard her footsteps and put the phone back. She poured coffee without a word, no good morning, no acknowledgement. "Morning," I said. She walked past like I was invisible. The silent treatment had begun. If they wanted games, I'd play. Monday, while she was at work, I went to Hayes and Associates. Within an hour, I sat with Robert Hayes, a divorce lawyer with 23 years' experience. "My wife's ignoring me for 30 days to make me submissive," I explained. "Figured I'd use the time productively." He chuckled, "That's a first, this might be my smoothest case." Over 2 weeks, I separated our lives. New bank account, changed direct deposit, listed my items versus hers, reserved a moving truck, signed a new lease. She didn't notice, too busy with her silence. Wednesday of week 3, she left at 7:30 with indifference. Movers arrived at 8:15, by noon, last box loaded. The place had gaps but wasn't bare, she had her furniture and appliances. I left divorce papers on the kitchen table with the note, "I realized my place, somewhere you're not, all communication through Hayes and Associates. Thanks for the 30 days, it gave me the time I needed." At 6:31 p.m. my phone buzzed, "Where are you? Your stuff's gone." Progression 6:45, "This isn't funny." 6:52, "Call me now." 7:13, "You can't be serious." 7:16, "I'm calling, but I disconnected my number." 11:13 p.m, "Please talk, I don't understand." Simple, she tried manipulation, learned consequences. Next day, Megan showed at my work. Walking out without warning is extreme. Without warning, she's ignored me 2 weeks on your advice. Did you think I'd wait forever? How'd you know? Amazing what people leave out when they think you're dumb. Her face paled, misunderstanding. Through my attorney now, share with the chat. Within weeks, she moved in with Olivia, couldn't afford rent alone. Olivia's husband wasn't thrilled about housing a marriage saboteur. 6 months post-divorce, she called from unknown. "I understand now, I let them convince me marriage was control, not partnership. I treated you like a problem, not a person. Sorry." For 8 months, that's what I wanted. Now, it changed nothing. I hung up, deleted the number. And now, on to the next story. Her book club decided to ignore me like furniture for 30 days to teach me a lesson. 2 weeks in, I vanished with a note, "Invisible means gone." My wife's book club voted to treat me like I didn't exist for a month to make me appreciate her more. By week 2, I was gone, leaving a note, "Invisible means gone." I'm Chris, 35, HVAC tech, owning my business, clearing 8K monthly, own the house, bought pre-marriage. Emily works as a dental receptionist, making 31K. I cover most bills, 6 years together, 4 married. Thursday, I came home early. Emily's book club in the living room, 5 women usually gossiping about incomes. I walked in with my toolbox, smiled, said hey, no response. They glanced, then looked away deliberately. Emily didn't even look. "Everything good?" I tried. Silence. They discussed a relationship book. Vanessa mentioned teaching partners lessons through strategic withdrawal of attention. "Emily, what's going on?" She refilled wine, reaching around me like I was furniture. It clicked, coordinated. Her club decided to teach me for 30 days. After they left, Emily went upstairs, earbuds in, turned away. Next morning, she made her own coffee, ignored mine. "Sleep okay?" Silence. Made toast, left my breakfast, went to her office, locked it. I texted, "Can we talk?" Typing dots appeared, then vanished, no reply. Something shifted. If she wanted to ignore me, I wouldn't serve her while invisible. I stopped cooking for 2, ordered takeout for 1, skipped her laundry. By day 3, she dug through dirties. Saturday, slept till 10 instead of yard work. Pulled out old camera gear, abandoned years ago because Emily said it took time from house stuff. Sunday, drove to Stone Mountain at 6 a.m., shot sunrise 4 hours, didn't tell her, came back to her packing, relief turned to anger but she couldn't acknowledge. Day 5, moved to guest room, hung my prints, she watched from doorway, conflicted but silent. Day 7, called lawyer buddy, researched divorce, no grounds needed in our state. Day 10, met Karen Thompson, transferred my joint half, called mortgage, house in my name. Day 11, signed apartment lease for 2 weeks out. Days 12-13, moved tools, gear, items to storage while she worked, changed alarm code. That evening she stood in my office staring, 2 minutes then left. I heard her call, something's happening, he's different. Yeah, I was done. Day 14, loaded last stuff early while she slept. Note on table, you wanted me invisible, granted, divorce papers Monday, keys on counter. Left house key, walked out. Phone exploded, 53 calls, 100 plus texts, didn't answer. 2 a.m. from another's phone, where are you? I replied, you didn't talk 2 weeks, returning the favor, lawyer in touch, blocked. Slept best in years. Karen filed Monday, Emily tried everything, job sites, letters to parents, friends for number. Her attorney called it silly game, Karen showed silent treatment docs, emotional abuse. 2 months mediation, she looked worn, tried speaking, Karen cut her, through attorneys. Tears but I felt nothing. Settlement, she kept house but refinance or sell in 6 months, couldn't afford so sell, split joint 50-50, done in 90 minutes. Parking lot, Chris please talk. I walked past like she wasn't there. And now on to the next story. Her sister coached her to threaten divorce and manipulate me for control. I beat them to it, filed papers and protected my assets. My wife's sister coached her to threaten me with divorce to make me a better husband. Their plan backfired when I hired a lawyer and filed the papers myself. I'm a 35-year-old owner-operator truck driver clearing $180K yearly. Own my rig outright, bought our house cash. Married to Taylor for 5 years, things were solid until her sister Brooke moved back. Brooke's twice divorced, always broke despite alimony, acts entitled. She started hanging at our place a year ago, slowly Taylor changed. Taylor went from understanding my long hauls to questioning everything. Started comments about money, why keep trucking finances separate? I'd explained, but suddenly I'm hiding. Then demands her name on truck title and accounts. I said adding a spouse creates liability. You don't trust me, she snapped. 6 months ago she complained about my schedule, never before. I came home after an $8K week, she attacked. You choose that truck over everything. This affords the life you want. Brooke's right, you use work to avoid commitment. My dad noticed at dinners, son, she's sounding like her bitter sister, that woman's poison. 4 months ago Taylor demanded access to trucking accounts, real partnerships. I refused, she threatened to leave and take what's mine. I've put 5 years in, I deserve half. You deserve what you contributed, nothing to my business. 3 weeks before filing, in the garage on maintenance, I overheard them through the window. Brooke coaching, men like him need control, make him think it's his idea, cry, talk, trust, guilt him. Taylor laughed, he's cracking. Brooke, document spending for the divorce, most women are too emotional to plan exits. They plotted manipulation and financial ruin while in my house. Taylor wasn't a victim, she participated. I called dad then lawyer. Over 3 weeks, transferred truck business to family trust with dad as trustee, pre-marriage assets protected, house 2 bought cash pre-marriage my name. Taylor played loving wife oblivious. Tuesday served papers at her work, she came home raging, what the hell, you can't throw me away. We're divorcing. I deserve half the house truck business. You built nothing. Everything earned married is mine, she called Brooke. Within hour Brooke there like attorney, can't hide assets, we know your income. Lawyer in touch. They got Brooke's consulted lawyer, seeing trust transfers pre-proceedings, Brooke screamed fraud. Can't hide to screw your wife. Good luck proving on non-marital property. Their lawyer reviewed docs, no case, legal, documented pre-proceedings. Taylor's face when her lawyer said no entitlement, priceless. Divorce finalized in 4 months. And now on to the next story. She reserved our fave restaurant, invited friends, and announced our marriage was a waste. Said she was upgrading. Everyone cheered. I left her with nothing. 3 weeks ago, my wife reserved our favorite restaurant, invited all our friends, and announced our marriage was a waste of time. She was upgrading. Everyone cheered while I sat watching my life implode. We'd been married 6 years, she'd been distant months, late work, girls' nights. When I mentioned, she'd flip it, call me paranoid. She wanted dinner at Antonio's, our anniversary spot, said nice to gather everyone. I thought sweet. Walking into the private room, everyone eyed me like a wreck. They knew I didn't. After appetizers, she stood with wine like a toast. I smiled, expecting nice words. I wanted you all here as witnesses. This marriage was a complete waste. 6 years trying with someone who doesn't get it. I'm done settling, I'm upgrading. 3 seconds silence, then a college friend clapped, another, whole table applauded. She smiled coldly at me. I removed my ring, placed it by my pasta, walked out. No words, silence more powerful. Home, I packed her stuff in boxes by door. She arrived midnight expecting tears, found boxes. We need to talk, she said. I went to bed, she chosen publicly, now live it. 3 weeks silence, she at sister's, ignored texts. Sister at my office, friends tried intervention. I changed locks, blocked numbers. Week 3, reality, apartment rejections from bad credit, maxed cards post-celebration. Urgent work call, about apartment, I need you to Kasin. There, didn't want me, needed signature, no one else would vouch for her. Met at coffee shop, I brought cardboard box. She looked rough, thanks for coming, great apartment but needs Kasiner, not paying, just sign. I placed box, brought something. Discuss apartment first, deadline tomorrow. Open it. Inside, flattened appliance, cardboard for homeless shelter. What the hell? Your backup, asking the waste of time to Kasin. Face white then red, serious. Completely, upgrades should be better, no assistance from old model. I made a mistake. Stop, you reserved, invited 12, speech, waited applause. Where do I go, sister can't, you're only qualifier. Not my problems. Slid cardboard, if depending on me, find a bridge. She yelled cruelty, shop watched like Antonio's, no applause. You did me a favor. Divorce finalized last week, no spousal, no half witnesses helped court. Sister kicked her 2 days post-meeting, she got sketchy studio, barred windows. Cheering friends, support gone when needed help. I redecorated, promoted, lost 15 pounds, dadding women sans power struggles. She handed freedom at Antonio's, thinking she took it.